Oh crap! I forgot to turn on my. Oh, we're
Oh,
live.
it says we're live too. Check that out.
Hey, we're live. I
Lighting.
forgot to turn on my
There you
mood lighting. Whoo! And here we are, back. Episode number 4. You could almost call this episode 3.5, since episode 3 was officially taken down. Thank you, YouTube, for protecting us all from the evils of misinformation. Whew. Freaking YouTube. I'm not gonna get on a roll until we get.
Oh man, we are so fired up today. We're so fired up today.
The appeal process goes so fast because you can tell they're like appeal.
What's up, Thompson?
What's up, Thompson?
We're riled up as all hell, man. That's what's up.
Yep. Yeah, if you didn't know, Thompson, last week's show got taken down because I said something about the election in a particular year with a particular past president, and evidently, according to YouTube, I was spreading misinformation. So,
God, we're an RC show, and I told you when we started this that sooner or later.
I thought I would get a strike just because the name of the show is shit that needs to be said, and YouTube would be like, "Oh, foul language," blah, blah, blah. But no, I get a community guideline strike for talking about something that happened 3 years ago that is never going to be changed. No matter how much our little pissant RC live show talks about it, that nothing's going to change there. But thank you, YouTube, for protecting us from the evils of misinformation. It is really important that you guys are the arbiters and the caretakers of truth and correct information.
Too funny.
I seem to remember a couple of years ago there was a whole pandemic thing going on, and there
now,
were
be careful what you say, or they're going to take down the show.
Well, no, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to keep it very broad and vague. There's a whole pandemic thing that was going on, and there was a bunch of people that were saying some things about what was going on, and they got kicked off of all over the place because they were spreading misinformation. And then like a year later, it turned out that a lot of the stuff they were saying actually wasn't misinformation. It was actual truth. So one day something is misinformation. 6 months later, it may be the actual truth.
Right.
So you never know. But when it comes to past elections and not being able to, because the community guideline is you're not allowed to talk about fraud or anything with regards to any presidential election ever since the beginning of the United States.
Future or now.
Yeah. Not allowed to talk about it. So, so there would be no way that anybody could talk about anything like which pertained to, like, say, Watergate, because that happened during a presidential election. But that would be me spreading potential misinformation because nobody knows. Robert, brother,
what's going on, man?
Good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Better watch while you can.
We are enjoying and reveling in the fact that last week's show got taken down by the Lords of Truth.
I kind of wanted to talk about, because I don't understand this. Now, YouTube has a thing that they run their videos through where they check all the words that are said. I've heard this. Basically, they've got something that translates everything that's said into text, and then they check the text to see if there's any keywords. Is this true? Have you heard about this?
That would be my understanding. Otherwise, what happened was somebody watched the show last week.
Somebody watched it
and reported us saying that we were spreading misinformation.
I just don't
or
see
I was spreading misinformation. I would take the 100% of the blame because it was
if
all
the
me.
screen goes black, we know what happened. That's right.
Again, the lords of truth. I don't think
This is like 100 views, and somewhere we got a hater. I mean,
Well,
we're doing
and-
something right, I think.
well, and when you think about it, there's how many was it like 400,000 hours of content is uploaded to YouTube like every day. So I don't even know how big of a computer you'd have to be sitting through
Translating
every single video
all the
from
audio and-
every single country all over from every creator from all over the world. That would be a big task. Not that they couldn't do it. I mean, YouTube is owned by Alphabet, which, they are big money. That's
Right.
no doubt about that. But the reality is it's probably somebody who doesn't like the shit that needs to be said, or they felt that was shit that didn't need to be said. So they decided to report it to YouTube.
We'll wait until you get to the shit that I really want to say.
Yeah, no kidding.
We haven't even.
We're only in episode 4.
We're just starting.
We're on episode 4. Well, yeah, episode 4, and one of them's been taken down already. So we're hitting 25% of our show being taken down for violating community guidelines. Imagine when we got a roll about something that's, really juicy. Before I forget, I do want to give a big shout out to my wife, who has tirelessly been working at. We had our little kitty spayed last week on Monday, and my wife has tirelessly been taking care of her and making sure that she does not open up her little kitty wound. So kudos to my wife. She has done many nights of not being able to sleep, because you can't keep a cat from doing anything. Cats are just they're little mini anarchists, and they just do whatever the hell they want. So you have to keep a close eye on them. So
shout out to the ladies.
My first comment was already removed. See, barbecue. That's what's happening now.
Yeah, we're being policed.
The man is watching over us right now. We angered the man. Now the man is
100 views, and we've angered the man.
It only takes one.
Oh, RC Nixter, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Nixter. Hey, barbecue. By the way, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is it is actually a really nice day. It's like a spring day here in Tennessee.
Oh, good for you.
It's not we're only going to get it for a couple days, and it'll go back to being cold again. But yeah, it's a nice day here. There are some good things out there that are happening. It isn't just all doom and gloom with the Lords of Truth.
Doom. Sorry, I can't. Rich is positive. I'm the negative. That's how.
I was surprised. It's a surprise that I've had my channel for like going on 4 years now, and I've never had anything. I've always been super, super careful, like, with music and all of that. So I've never gotten a strike on anything out of my channel at all. So when I got up on Saturday morning and I had this like big notification with the yellow exclamation point, I was like, what? And then you have violated community guidelines. I was like, what the hell did I do? I haven't even like posted a new video or anything.
I mean, I thought it was the 8 people in Nebraska, honestly.
I apologize to the 8 people in Nebraska. Sorry.
We shouldn't have bombed you. My
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, I'm sorry that we were going to blow up the Chinese spy balloon over Nebraska and endanger you 8 good people, because where would we be without the 8 great people of Nebraska? They do supply a ton of corn, which
you're not supposed to talk about the issues going on. That's right. That's right. And
that's why we're talking about the 8 people in Nebraska.
It's not just the world. I mean, like I said, I keep trying to bring it back. We're an RC talk show.
We are an RC talk show.
We are an RC.
And by the way, speaking of RC, the Ohio train derailment, how's that going? Oh wait, that has nothing to do with RC.
No.
See, I'm itching to get that guideline violation again.
I know.
Come on, YouTube.
But we just got to piss somebody off real good. Hold on, we'll get there.
There was some good RC vibes that happened over the weekend. Kudos to Fern Solo, who was at USTE. He was having some fun on the little mini crawler course, and I believe FMS might have been like loaning out 24 scale rigs for people to drive around. And there was a little boy, little tiny, couldn't have been more than maybe, 5, 6 years old. He was running around there, and Fern saw that he was having a good time and just reached down his backpack, pulled out a 24 scale rig, and freaking gave it to the kids. So kudos to you, Fern Solo, for being that guy.
Well, Locos RC.
Hey, Russell, how are you doing?
Chainsaw. Yep, you guys better. I'm glad you're all here because, like I said, you better watch this while you can.
Yes, because if you guys didn't know, today's show is the return show. After last week's show was removed from YouTube for me violating community guidelines.
Yes, I'm still. Did YouTube take us down, or did somebody? Can I say that? Am I going to be in trouble?
Because that's actually a part of the process when you go through and look at YouTube's.
We're asking questions here, right?
Yeah, you can go through and read how they explain and tell you how to report a channel for spreading misinformation. So, if I were to say something about a particular election that happened and I laid out some possible facts.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now.
They could take it down.
Because I don't think most people understand. I am not political at all myself. I really don't give a flying fuck. I don't.
Justin and I are the yin and yang when it comes to politics.
Yeah. So
because I'm very political. I will watch C-SPAN for hours.
And I was the generation that was raised on lies, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't buy into any of it at the moment.
The thing that everybody seems to have forgotten, and if you go back to the 40s, the 50s, and the early 60s, basically before the early 60s, was that all politicians were they were scumbags. Nobody liked them. And they were always lying about everything all the time. And at some point, we transitioned into society where all of a sudden we now treat politicians kind of like we treat rock stars and famous actors and actresses. We're like, oh. Personally, I believe when it comes to how you run a country, the politicians that we elect, that's the best we're going to get. Because real people who are super smart and know how to do things and know how to get things done, they're not going to go take a crappy job being a senator or congressman or even running for president. I don't I don't understand. I mean, Donald Trump for years talked about how he would never run for president because it was the worst job you could possibly have. And he was a multi-billionaire. So why the hell does he need that headache in his life? And then he did.
No, we're diving right off course here already.
And then he did.
Hold on, we've got 10 people watching right now. I don't want to lose their attention.
No. This is all. It's all going to come full circle. I promise you. So you don't get the best of the best to run for office. It just simply doesn't happen, because there's nothing in it. Somebody who's super smart is going to go start a Tesla.
Sure,
they're going to go start a Microsoft or an Amazon or something. They're not going to go into politics. Right? Why am I going to take a job that I only get paid $237?
You need to speak in code.
Speaking code.
Does anybody remember Pig Latin? I'm not sure.
But yeah, that the world seems to have forgotten that's who these people are. They're not.
Oh, you're already getting taken down.
Well, this is my mom warning me that she's watching. So,
oh boy. All right, yes, ma'am.
Yes, because I warned my mom that it might get a little spicy today because I was a little
we're a little hopped up,
a little fired up about the likelihood that somebody reported us. Just like why? What? And again, it's if that happens, if you have haters, you're doing something right. So I've tried to take.
If you think that we told the truth about an election, wait until you tell it. Wait until I tell you the truth about RC.
Yeah, that's the perfect segue into the myth of the RC community. And
oh boy.
I got a great snapshot of the RC community over the weekend, and it was. A gentleman posted in a Facebook group that how you slap a label on something made in China and that everybody else is selling the same thing. They just slap their name brand on it. And then everybody on the internet will argue over which one.
I know what you're talking about. I saw this.
And the posts from people. Now, there was the gentleman he pointed out a specific company, and evidently the owner of the company. I didn't realize.
Well, we don't even need to say that. I mean, I guess we could just say.
Well, he came in to defend himself, of which he defended the fact that because this guy was fairly poignant about. I know where you guys are buying all this stuff from. I know the company you buy it from. And this guy was actually like, no, we used to, but we don't buy from those guys anymore.
Basically, what this gentleman was saying was you bought your stuff from China, you rebranded it, and you sold it to us.
Yes. And now
it out.
And now us, the RC community, are arguing with one another saying that your product is better than those guys' product. When the truth of the matter is that those guys' product and your product are probably made in the same building. If not the same building, probably the same province in China. Because let's face it, we talked about it last week. Now you wouldn't, if you weren't here, you wouldn't be able to watch it. But we did talk about it last week that a majority of electronics that are made in the world are made in China. It's just a fact. It's what
not everybody, not everybody, but yeah, a majority. I mean, there are, we have companies.
We still have a few, but a majority of stuff is,
so much that these influencers and stuff push on us. It's just stuff that's just been rebranded for us. So they slapped an RC. Didn't we do a little? Well, we talked about backpacks, and didn't you like last week? You were telling me you found a sling pack.
Yes.
For $25.
$25. It is
basically the exact same sling pack
that you can buy from
somebody we know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so many of the products that we're sold everywhere, not just in RC, but everywhere. So many of the products we buy are the same exact thing across different brands, with just somebody's logo slapped on it. It just is. It is what it is. And I know months ago I talked about it on a show where, you know, American companies need to pay attention and need to do a better job of representing themselves and stop. They need to start getting away from the influencers and the people that they're trying to use and manipulate to sell their products.
Oh, I love it. The gang's all here. Yeah, you know it. You know it,
That's
NorCal.
right. The
It's all about
troublemakers.
the dollars, Nixon. Yeah, you know it. Yeah, and that's the. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the god awful truth. It's about 90% of the time it's about money, and
Yep.
let's just go right back to where we were supposed to be, which is RC community, and touch on that. And the people coming back at this guy in this post were basically saying, "Look, man, you know, because you're complaining, you're a whiny little bitch." Basically, I mean. And that's the RC community. That's our brotherly hood community. That's okay. You can't sell me on RC community anymore. I'm not bought on it. I don't buy it.
Now, I can say that if you have a local group of friends, that's not the community that I'm necessarily talking about. I'm talking about how people will give speeches about how great the RC community is. And I'll tell you, if you think the RC community as a whole is all that great, spend about 2 hours on your weekend scrolling through Facebook groups, RC Facebook groups, and watch how many times somebody who's obviously new will post a question and there will be 30 responses ripping him a new a-hole for being an idiot. It's like, well, I didn't know. I didn't know that, you know, I'm in the ARMA group and I'm asking which Traxxas I should buy. You know, you will, I mean, you'll get burned at the stake.
Oh Jesus!
You'll,
Yes,
I mean,
do
that's
that.
a Salem witch trial happening
Yeah.
right there. You're liable to get freaking death threats. And yeah, and it's like,
And then we turn around in the same sense. You know, even I'm a hypocrite. I'm not going to say that I haven't made this myself, you guys. I'm not going to say that I haven't been a part of the problem. But I mean, the truth of the matter is like I'm tired of saying it. I'm tired of, you know, I'm tired of being like, look, this is not the truth about the RC. This is not the truth about the RC world, you guys.
yeah, NorCal, it's a large suck hole. It is. Facebook.
This is why I come to the show.
See, and that's exactly. That's why this show is here, because we need to call Facebook a
You're
giant
gonna
suck hole.
Face call your suck hole. But never mind.
But but I mean, when you talk about reaching across and reaching out to people in the RC community, that's where it happens. It happens on social media, which when you start looking at social media, you're like, well, it doesn't look like a community. It looks more like people hate each other.
Or at least want to hate each other. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, I've even seen it in smaller groups.
Let's be careful there. I don't want to offend. There's our ladies watching the show.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked reading through these comments that you know, this guy basically he said the shit that needs to be said. He said it out loud. And people, you're a baby, you're a whiner, and obviously their customer service didn't take care of you. And obviously there's nobody knows what the circumstances are, but you can't fault the guy for telling it's the truth. I mean,
Right.
you can't tell me that if you go to Power Hobbies, to JT, to Reefs, to Holmes, Christ, who else makes servos?
Savox.
You can't tell me that you can't look on Amazon and go, holy crap, that looks just like that one. It looks just like it. It doesn't have their name on it, but it looks exactly, because it probably is. Because partly that's
Says
part
the
of the
guy with the middle finger in the background. Hey, still a gentleman. Fuck off.
But that is part of the thing that happens with Chinese manufacturing. And I've mentioned it before. There are companies that have had to sue companies in China because they will literally, you'll send them, hey, make this for me. They'll start making it for you and shipping them across, and you'll start selling them. And then a week later, somebody's like, yeah, dude, I can get that same exact thing on freaking Amazon for half the price.
Right.
And he goes on there like, holy shit, they're selling my stuff. That's what happens. That's why when you look
this guy comes to the show just so I can say the name. Because it's ooh. Oh. It's an RC car.
Good to see you. Ooh, hey, it's JM.
Yeah.
Hey, hello from work as well, JM. I am here in the office, working away. It's rough. It's a rough job. Somebody's got to do it for me. Come on, boys, give me your best. Ooh, like so.
I'm good.
So, NorCal was right. We do have troublemakers here.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Oh, yeah. I have seen so many times multiple RC shows and videos and people talking about thanking the RC community. And I kind of have the same thing to say about that I do about charitable organizations. Thank the people direct, thank the people that actually don't thank the community at large, because look, let's be totally honest here. There's a certain percentage of the RC community that are just trolly douchebags. It just is. But there are some good people out there. Obviously, I shout out to Fern Solo. He's a good guy doing something good for a kid.
And that's like I said, that's the thing is right there, right then, that made an impact on that kid.
Yep.
That's what it's about. Like that's what it's about.
And I think taking the more direct approach to things is the better way to go. The more direct approach in, you know what? Thank you, Fern Solo, because what you did right there will stick in that kid's mind, and that kid will forever move forward thinking, yeah, you know what? There are some good people out there, and they happen to be a part of the RC community at large. So Fern went a long way in creating a good image for the RC community at large, even though, like I said, there is a certain percentage of them that are trolly douchebags. That just is what it is. But yeah, instead of going on your show or your video and thanking the community for being great and woohoo, rah 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 crap, thank the specific people. Thank the specific people for doing what they do that helps the RC community. Because for every one Fern Solo, there is 30 people in a Facebook group that are just berating the crap out of a guy because he merely pointed out something that everybody knows but nobody wants to talk about.
Either that or he mentioned an election in a YouTube chat for 2 minutes. Had his show kicked off the air. RC community love right there.
Yep. I booked first date for a new RC club in my small city, 8K people. And that's what it's about.
That's a thumb if you can see it.
Yep. That's a big thumbs up. Ooh ah. Ha.
RC you next Tuesday.
I believe that is probably Mr. James. That might be James and Billy, but
Thanks for watching.
Hello to both of you. Yeah. That's the part of it, is getting a group of people together that you can hang out with and create your own, it's your own little RC community. And yeah, I mean,
it's Jay. How you guys doing? Oh, awesome.
How you doing, Jay? It's good to see you, man.
So I just want to mention really quick. I know we're 30 minutes in, but I just want to say, I see a couple people I haven't seen in the chat before. So this is strictly entertainment, guys. Me and Rich's opinions, you guys, we're just here to chat and debate, okay?
Yep.
Speak your opinions, speak your mind. Don't make it an argument. If you argue, we're going to kick you out. You guys got to be adults. We should be able to talk about the shit that needs to be said and get along.
Yep.
So
YouTube is the only one that is kicking anyone anywhere at this point. And from now on, I'm just going to refer to them as the Lords of Truth.
Woohoo! And that's just the thing. RC community, Lords of Truth. You make me think of the people who manage the truth. The people at the top. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
yep.
The only way you know about a company or someone is by what they tell you.
Yeah.
So, like I said, RC community, some of these people, I'm not going to say names, but some of these people I've partied with, I've hobnobbed with, I've bashed with RC, crawled with. I know some of these people, and I'm telling you that some of these people are not all they're cracked up to be on their YouTube channels.
And, to a certain degree, I would say, if you are, there are people that are personalities, they have a YouTube channel and they have their YouTube personality, and that is what they put out in public.
Ice cream is better, just saying.
And I don't necessarily have a problem with that. If you are a personality and that's who you are in your YouTube channel, and you're totally someone different in real life, that's fine if you separate that.
Yeah.
But if you're running around on YouTube portraying that you are this, we are this.
But you're going to tell me that you're part of the RC community, that you're part of the brotherhood, when you can't take a minute to stop and talk to me because I initiated conversation. If I initiated conversation with you at an event and you start walking away during the middle of the conversation, boy, you really...
Sometimes that personality becomes a life of its own. And that is a lot of times when you hear people talk about actresses like, oh, he's so down to earth and he's a real person. It's like, no, they're not a real person. They don't understand anything about how you live your life. They understand how they live their life. Yeah, they might be a real person. They might be nice. They might be nice enough to stop and talk to you because you ran into them at a Shell station. Shack.
Egos are real, yeah.
But I don't expect, I wouldn't, like I said, I ran into Shaq at a Shell station.
We're childish idiots on and off screen. Never take life too seriously. Just enjoy the moment. Yeah, and and that's what RC should be about. Is you just enjoying yourself. Like I said, I don't want to think that I don't want you guys to think that I'm so negative that I just hate everybody and hate the RC world. That's not it.
No,
I want you to go out and have fun. I want you to do what you want to do. And if you think you got something that needs to be said, well, then say it, for Christ's sake. I mean,
And you are welcome to come here and say it. Our chat is open and free. You can say whatever you want, and nobody's going to take down comments. Nobody, if you want to start an argument,
don't be vulgar,
can.
For Christ's sake.
Yes, because there are times when my mom is watching. So we have to try and keep it somewhat mom safe. Now, my mom does understand that we're all adults here and we can drop F-bombs if we want to. But
be a gentleman.
Yeah, we don't have to be throwing them around like YouTube throws around community guidelines. Oh, darn it. Lords of Truth throw around community guidelines. Truth. I got to remember that.
People who give you the information.
I mean, at least they gave me the opportunity to appeal the decision.
50-year-old boys playing with toys so serious can be.
Now, damn it, NorCal, we can be damn serious about things. Damn serious.
Wait a minute. I adult hard when I have to.
So, I'm sitting here yesterday, and
okay,
I'm over at the workbench over there, and I'm doing some staining on some wood for the scale garage.
All right.
And in the middle of while I'm doing this, I realize that I'm sitting in my garage staining wood for a scale garage. Why?
Don't make me sound like my dad.
I could be outside enjoying the 59-degree chilly weather outside, but no. I am sitting in my garage staining wood for a scale garage.
Mm-hmm.
And don't think the irony is not lost.
Yeah.
That I'm in my garage working on a garage for my tiny trucks.
Is it philosophical at that moment? Does it become... I have my deep moments. I don't know about anybody else.
I do. I do like that that a lot of times there is I enjoy a good trolling. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
A good trolling, a good meme out there is great, but yeah, if you take yourself too seriously, you're probably going to end up having a heart attack when you're 45 years old. And yeah, enjoy life. Working on my scale garage as my road garage falls down around me. I could have been organizing my garage, because what you see here is nice. What you don't see out there is it's all
disaster
bad.
Zone.
It's all bad. I have a 3-car garage, and I barely have enough room to park a car in the garage.
I don't want to come to Somerset, UK. Trolls are everywhere, literally. Isn't that that seems like such a stigma, honestly. I'm not,
Mr. Gibbs.
Or is Europe full of trolls? No,
good to see you. Good to see you, Mr. Gibbs. And Jesse, I don't think I said hello to Jesse. Good to see you.
I'm working at Welding Away. My headphones are on.
Oh, that's perfect.
I do enjoy your podcast because you have a great cover. Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Jesse. And a welder. Freaking cool. I used to work at a structural steel, actually several structural steel companies. So whatever it is, I've been around metalworking most of my life. And
I like to use fire in a lot of my work.
I truly appreciate the skill that is welding, because it is a skill and it is a talent. That is it's also
I couldn't do it. No way. You got me beat. So
I have tried multiple times. I've had some
It's a
very,
mystical
very
thing.
good welders try to teach me how to weld. And Jesse will appreciate it that every time I get finished, it looks like somebody blew snot all over the place. Because
Oh,
that's
Mig
what
and Tig. Oh, very
Mig
cool.
and Tig. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I used to work
Did they call that switch in welding?
switch.
Am I allowed to say that? Can I say? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was, oh, I brought
I
it to
didn't.
home.
It took me a second. You
I'm-
notice it didn't
I
hit me
should
right
have not
away.
said anything, honestly.
A
I'm
little,
horrible.
little slow. What? Hello.
Heavy equipment welder for 35 years, Kevin Gibbs.
Damn Skippy, Mr. Gibbs. That's a special kind of welding right there. I worked mostly around like really nice, clean shops where you could do like these. Working on heavy equipment that's in the trenches right there. 8K small ones in villages. That is cool. Ooh, I myself, I think our city here, we just hit about 50,000, but it's so spread out that, I mean, we have like a little kind of city center area, but we're pretty spread out here. I am a big fan of kind of rural living and not big city, especially after living just outside of Los Angeles for most of my life.
Welding is an experience thing. Lots of experience.
Stacking dimes. That's right.
I'll see you next Tuesday. But played around with arc welding.
Cornwall.
Oh, that's why I come here is because the chat just makes this
Yep.
makes the show. Like
Now-
you guys interacting with us and talking to us about what you want to say is fantastic. I love it. But we
Yep.
get sidetracked so easily.
Yeah.
What else were we supposed to talk about? I think we got like I don't know how long do you want to run the show today?
Where are we?
We're 40 minutes in.
We're just getting
I
started.
mean, yeah, we can. Do we still smash on RC community? Can I do that?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm just so like, this is such a lie.
Well, and the other part that is extended RC community, which is the helping hands part of the RC community, the people that go like out of their way to try and be nice and be helpful, they can be almost as annoying as the trolley douches. You know, I'm all for being nice and being helpful and everything, but you know, man, if you show up to an event and you got 60 pounds of screws in your backpack and you just run around the whole time giving out stuff to people and helping them out, what the hell's wrong with you? Have some fun.
Right.
Did you go there to
Squirrel. Yeah, that's me, bro. Total squirrel. I got ADHD real bad.
that is also that is where Justin and I are the same, because I can squirrel out at any moment on this show, and it has happened.
Oh yeah,
That's part of the reason why we got the community guidelines strike, because I think I squirreled out about that. But James, Cornwall, I think I've seen, I believe Cornwall was in a Top Gear episode, one of the like greatest Top Gear episodes of all time, which was the RV episode, and they went camping in Cornwall, and Jeremy's giant stack of flats got blown over by the wind. Pretty sure that was in Cornwall, and from what I saw in that episode, that absolutely looks like a beautiful place to live. Might get a little windy, but where does it not get a little windy? I thought I would, I lived by the ocean, in California where we had the ocean breeze that would
Squirrels
blow,
unite.
or
Sorry.
the Santa Anas. And anybody in California knows what the freaking Santa Anas are. This stupid hot wind that blows like 90 miles an hour. And I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to move to this nice, peaceful valley in Tennessee where it's, to be nice and hot and humid in the summer, get some snow. And no, every time there's a storm coming through, the freaking wind comes through here like mad crazy. We've got these nice rocking patio chairs for the front yards, and I shit you not, these things probably weigh 60 or 70 pounds, and the wind will literally just blow them across our porch. There are more times than one than I've had to chase in the middle of a rainy, windy storm, chasing the freaking cushions out into the forest.
Empty little beaches, rocks of all types. Yeah, that does sound pretty wonderful.
Yep.
It's the salt water that bothers me.
But you know what? James and Billy do it right. They every Wednesday they have their show where they just are fixing their stuff. And
Wait,
it's
that's
like
a thing? Maintenance?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do that?
That's when you take care of your RCs like an adult.
Wait, no, I take care of my RC by coming home and putting it on the shelf.
Hey, I mean, it's all good. You're allowed to do that. That's very adult.
Yin and yang of RC.
My rig, the wheels tires come off instantly as soon as I get home. There's a bucket. It's sitting right there. You can see it's blue. There's a bucket that will get water in it, and I will wash the tires, whatnot, and I will put them on the shelf, and then the rig gets put on a stand, and paintbrushes, which are right there, get out, and I'll brush them all off, and then bam, then I'm done.
I'm sorry to hear that, Kevin. I didn't know you mailed off everything.
Mailed off the last of my RC collection. Yeah, I'm sorry, my friend. But you're still here. You still get to hang out. You're still a part of our RC community, which is probably the best RC community within the RC community, because we all here are awesome.
Obviously, we can get along and say what needs to be said with each other and not have a fit about it. So maintenance is overrated. I love that. An adult, no rich. We repair them. Oh yeah, yeah. We repair them when they stop. This is funny. Oh, too funny.
I know I did a ton of RCing at the beach when we lived in California, and I knew saltwater bad. Saltwater and sand even worse. So I just became accustomed to doing it as soon as I got home. Because there were times when I didn't do it. I would get lazy. I was just, and the next thing I know, I would walk by my shelf and I would see the rusted screws on the wheels.
My wheels come off as soon as I start driving. My favorite is when you get out there and you get all set and you get it turned on and everything like that. You got the camera ready, you hit the trigger, and you can hear that pinion gear go. Oh, that's so good.
It's especially good when there's like 18 screws you have to undo in order to get to that pinion.
Yep.
Like, oh, I have to remove the entire transmission out of this car in order to put the pinion.
Is dusting off an RC car considered? Absolutely. That is. I got a Vanquish that's been sitting here. I finished a month ago, and I just wipe it clean every now and then. It's great.
The other good one is, and anybody that has multiple cars with multiple transmitters, is when you get out to your spot and you turn that transmitter on. You're like, what the hell's wrong with my car? You're checking, and you look at the radio that's in your hand and it says radio link. And you look at the receiver in your car and it says Futaba.
Yep.
Ah, damn it. Not that I've ever done that.
For people who own 8 Traxxas vehicles, this could be a real problem. Let me tell you, I've been down this road. They're all black. They all look the same. Like, what the hell? Did somebody not label these? I told you to label these.
I believe it's RC Guy Garage, because he's got a ton of rigs, and he has a really I don't know what he uses, but he has a really good label system. Because I've noticed it at times when he's filming and whatnot, where he's got the label that goes around the handle, and it looks like he's got them color coded. So like his Habao vehicles have color, his Traxxas have a color, and that to me that's brilliance right there.
Have a good time, Nixter.
Thank you, Nixter.
Super low Baja rate. Ran at 4 miles. Nearly killed me at 60 miles an hour. You should know better.
I remember that video.
What are you doing?
I remember that video. It just drove off. And yeah, they were on like this endless beach.
Yeah.
And
it just took off down the beach?
It just disappeared off in the distance.
What the hell is that?
There is something to be said about gas and nitro RC cars that have the automatic
cutoff.
The automatic cutoff if it loses signal.
I mean, yeah, it's all right as long as there aren't any little dogs nearby.
Or people. I mean,
too bad for Toto or little Jimmy.
The Super Baja Ray is not small.
Yeah, I mean, that thing's like, it nearly killed me. Yeah.
You imagine you're just hanging out at the beach, you're sitting there in your chair, you got cold beer in your hand, you're hanging out enjoying the day, and all of a sudden you get broadsided by 30 pounds of RC Super Baja Ray. And there's nobody around. Well, where the hell did that come from?
It's just lying there in the sand. I don't even know what happened.
That is a viral TikTok video waiting to happen.
I only say this because, like you said, I used to dodge RC cars, for Christ's sake, man. I mean, I've been so close to primal raminators 7 feet in the air. It's ridiculous. And it's not, it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
I still have the scar on my shin from the first time I fired up my Typhon, and the throttle was reversed.
Oh shit!
I put it down on the ground. It was reversed. I went to hit forward, and it went right into my shin. And the Typhon has the wing on the back with it that has all of the nice jagged corners sticking up, and it just dug right into my shin. Yeah, I think, oh, awesome. That felt good.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I can't tell you in the first 3 years of filming, I can't tell you how many times I got hit. And I mean, I would go out and practice with the same person too. So, I mean, we eventually got a lot better at it. But I mean, I've been smoked so many times. It's not
that pink truck right there is a Nitro RC10 GT. And I we used to run dirt oval with them, and I was making practice laps, and I launched it into my own leg.
Oh,
and if you've ever played paintball,
oh yeah,
and you gotten one of those like dead on shots,
oh yeah,
where it like bruises the bone.
Oh yeah, I had like one at the back of the head one time that was just like, what the hell?
That's what the bruise from my truck looked like for a month.
Oh god,
I had this bruise on my outside of my thigh for a month that was like this big, and it was just black. Billy hitting himself with the X-Max is still my favorite crash.
Completely wiped him out. That he broke his leg. Well, and Jeremy Griffith got hit at that Axial event one time and damn near broke his leg. He got hit at UST standing right beside me. He got hit at UST standing right beside me. He got hit in the ankle, full on with a rift that was all metal conversion 4S. And it instantly just took him off his feet and knocked him down.
I have to say, Jeremy Griffith is kind of like he's like a magnet.
Oh yeah, dude.
He got it, and I don't think there was any video footage, but there were plenty of people that witnessed the Horizon event he was at when he got beaten, and they were like, yeah, he like legit got hit. The thing was full blast, launched up into the air.
His ankle was black and blue for like a week, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he thought he really broke his leg. And I'm telling you, I guess my thing that maybe I want to touch on here is I see a lot of these newbie guys, and they grab an RC car from the store, and they grab their girlfriend and their iPhone, and then they go out to the park with their new X-Max, and they've never filmed before, and she's never filmed, he's never even drove, and the next thing you know, he's running her over with the damn thing. And it's like, look, these things really are dangerous. Now, I admit, yeah, RC scars are cool scars. That's what the ladies tell me anyways. But, I don't know how many times you really want to get hit with a low-seat Baja, right?
Well, like Robert said, getting hit by an X-Max.
That's 35 pounds moving it between 50 to 60 miles an hour sometimes.
Yep. And
you ever been hit with a bowling ball at 60 miles an hour?
I've been hit by a car.
Oh, shit.
So, I mean, an actual car. And
yeah.
Ran into myself with a slash at full speed, knocked me off my feet like a cartoon.
Yeah. Even a slash, a little 3S.
If it's going fast enough,
that's the thing. And so filming, Kevin, I wanted to thank you for that nice comment that you gave me. But filming, if I go back to filming and capturing film, when I'm filming, I try not to film anything over 4S. To be quite honest with you, I find that in film, 120 frames a second, 4S is fast enough for film. I can get those slide shots. I can get all those crazy shots. 6S, when you get up to this speed, you are actually putting yourself in somewhat of a danger because it's faster than most people can dodge. And that's the thing. I don't think people realize exactly what reaction speed means,
100% on that because, I know when we were racing these on our oval track was fairly big. And, we could get these gas trucks, 60, 70 miles an hour around that track easily. And to this day, at that track, they don't run oval there anymore, but they still pit like 4 or 5 feet away from the fence. And when we were racing back then, I mean, we would literally always have somebody that was looking out at the track because it was almost constant. Cars getting launched. Yeah. And like,
oh, well, like I said, one X-Max is one thing. Yeah. Now let's put 5 of them out there. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, because I've done this. Like, this is, if you think that watching one basher is bad, try watching 6 or 7 or 8 at a time. Because the next thing you know, you turn around and you're going to get smoked.
Yeah. Proline by the Fire a couple years ago when I was there, they had the wall of death. So they made a metal, they made a metal tube.
I remember this.
And they were letting people throw their cars in there and just trying to wall ride them.
Yep.
Freaking the Brandon Chastain or whatever he was, the NASCAR guy that wall rode.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they had the wall ride thing, and our booth and RC four-wheel drive booth was probably 10, 15 feet away from that. And they had a car that launched all the way over the table of the RC four-wheel drive booth and actually hit the screen that was on the back of their Easy Up and fell down. But the two guys that were there were sitting down, and it clearly went over their head and hit behind them. But that one of those guys could have taken and I think it was like a slash or something like that. They could have taken it in the face. And
that wall ride was epic for NASCAR. Yes, it was. That was something to talk about. Definitely. I think the wall ride is one of those things. Even now, when I pull it off in video games, I'm like, hey, the wall ride.
I think it should be a legal move. NASCAR made a rule so that you can't do it. And I think that's completely wrong.
Well, he knew that you could do that at that one track, and you couldn't do it at the next track anyway. So, what are you going to, you just going to do it to this one track, this one time?
They're not going to be doing it at Daytona or Talladega or any of the super fast tracks. It's only going to be a short track. You're probably not going to be able to pull it off at Bristol either. But, oh man, are you kidding me? That it was fantastic from a fan standpoint.
Oh yeah. That was one of the greatest things.
You went full video game in real life. That's big. He had some big brass ones to even you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Well, yeah, like I said, what do you gotta lose, man? Sometimes you just gotta go for it.
I agree it's not safe for the spectators barbecue, but there is a certain amount of risk that you have to take going to sit in the stands at a racetrack.
Yeah. I grew up around racing, so I would have to say the same thing. It's one of those things. Like an engine is a self-contained explosion. So now you tell me.
I mean, it is. Take care, Robert. Have a good rest of the week, my friend.
All right, the size of watermelons. Yeah.
There was a number of years ago in the 50s when a race at Le Mans, where they would literally just allow the spectators to stand right next to the track where a car crashed and went in, and it was horrific. Everybody's probably seen the video. That's wrong. Catch fences, all of that.
Definitely safety. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be safety at racetracks, but there can only be so much safety when we're talking about fuel and fire in the same spot. Okay? We really are.
And for all intents and purposes, I would say that the way modern racetracks are built, they do a pretty damn good job. NASCAR cars are freaking heavy. That's 35 pounds of car going 200 miles an hour. When they get up in the catch fence, you don't ever see them going into the stands, that's a pretty
an inherent risk. NorCal. Sorry.
Drag racing, motorcycles. That's another group of people there that big brass ones. Takes big brass ones to do that. And that's coming from a guy who flat tracked motorcycles.
I like four wheels. I don't do two. It's a lot harder to tip all four wheels over, I find.
A 5-second quarter. Yeah, that's in a car. I have no problem doing a 5-second quarter in a car. On a bike. On a bike, I'd probably have to wear 3 sets of Depends.
Even if I grabbed myself, I'd still be back at the start line. WRC, oh yeah.
Freaking rally racing is still like that. They still allow the fans and the photographers. Baja is the same way. Baja, it's impossible for them to police.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Because you could drive out to the middle of the desert where the track is.
They get hundreds of people that go out, and they will see the trucks coming, and they will be standing in the middle of the road until the last possible second.
I mean, you think I'm crazy? Look, get a lens. No, dear Lord, man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do rally. Screw that trees. You know, I used to drive a subcontracted mail route through the Black Hills of South Dakota. That was 75 miles of gravel road every day. Now, I had to make stops between the mailboxes, but after 3 years of doing this, imagine my times finishing my route. I mean, I drove a little Subaru Outback.
JB had his own rally stage.
Yeah, let me tell you, Dad was an open wheel racer, and growing up on dirt roads and stuff like that, yeah, you know, definitely rally's right up my track.
Yeah, Carlos Sainz had an accident where he killed 3 spectators. I was at a race in the early 90s where a sprint car went into the stands and killed a couple people in the stands.
Racing's dangerous, man. It's just,
it obviously shouldn't happen. Fans should never be at risk, but it's one of those 1 in a million things. Like that same crash could happen 10 times, and that car would land in 10 different places.
Either that or that person could walk away and 5 minutes later get bit by a snake.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake, man, that's just life. Sometimes. Hey, Nitro Freak.
Nitro Freak. Good to see you, man. Isle of Man, Kevin Gibbs. Bucket list. That is one of my bucket list things because
we have just been all over the board today.
Isle of Man. If you have never seen the onboard cameras of the super bikes at Isle of Man, you are so missing out. That is beyond big brass ones. That's like those guys have to carry their nuts around in wheelbarrows behind them because they couldn't possibly just let them be. They are absolutely insane. I mean, 200 miles an hour right next to a 4-foot tall rock wall.
Right.
Going over a hill where the bike comes off the ground by 2 feet.
Yeah.
Nope. Holy
good.
Crap. I can only imagine. I know there would be 3 words that would come out of my mouth for the entire lap. And all of them are not fit to say while my mother's watching the show.
Right. When one passes, it literally takes your breath away. Isle of Man, crazy, especially those sidecar. Oh, yeah, I would love to ride sidecar. You're kidding me?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. You just hold on. Gosh, what else?
Yeah, when something goes by you going that fast, I've had the luxury to be at
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Several NASCAR races at Indy, and I was actually at Indianapolis Motor Speedway when Alonso Jr., I forget who else, they were testing, and we got to hang out right on the pit wall while they were testing. And absolutely, when a car goes by you at 260 miles an hour and you're in it just stands, standing position,
there's no describing that really.
It literally sucks the air out of you. It's kind of like NHRA. If you've ever been into an NHRA and had either a top fuel rail or a funny car drive by you where you're in, even if you're in the stands, you feel it in your chest.
That's the thing. Like, I've been around those cars, when we talk about 1,700 horsepower or whatever, 1,100 horse, we start getting around 1,000 horsepower, for Christ's sake. If you stand next to that car while it's just idling there at the line, Oh my God, that's like my favorite thing in the world.
And a top fuel dragster right now, they're running upwards of about 8,000 to 9,000 horsepower on those cars.
Right. Just stupid ridiculous.
I had a great experience at Pomona. Friend of mine who had never been to a drag race in his entire life, and we got the opportunity because I knew God, I just forgot his name, Doug Coletta, from when he ran midgets back before he was running dragsters.
Yep.
And we walked over there, and a friend of mine and I are standing there, and we're talking to Doug, and Doug and I are kind of reminiscing about some mutual old friends. And he was like, "Hey, I got to run over there. We're gonna start the car up." And hey, good to see you, James.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, man.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
If you just really quick, I know we're in the middle of this show, but if you guys have something, if you're listening or whatever, and you want something to be said, just drop it in our comments later or whatever. You guys, we can always talk about anything at any time. So
absolutely,
unless the show gets taken down. So glad you stopped by to watch.
And even after the show, if you think about something you want us to, or you want to talk about on next week's show, you can always post that in the comment after the show as well. But yeah, so we're standing there, and all the crew and all of them, their headphones on, they got their respirators on and all of that, and then they have the they put the little flag line up behind the car, and there's people that are literally just standing like 2 feet behind the rear tires. And yeah, I take my friend's arm, and we start and he's like, "No, they're starting up the car." And I was like, no, you don't want to be right here for that. And he was like, "Oh no, why not?" I'm like, "Okay, you stay here for that. I'm gonna go over there and stand around the corner of the truck." And so they fire up the cars, and they let them just kind of sit there and idle for a second, and then they always do a brap. And if you're standing there and you don't know to put your fingers in your ear, you won't hear anything for the rest of the day.
Listen to Kevin Gibbs over here hitting up the lady with the autograph. Are you kidding me? Jungle Pam. Oh my God.
Nice.
I'm not a jealous guy. I'm not jealous. Okay, I'm jealous.
I do not have I do have Doug's autograph. That it's it's not quite the same as Connie, but I did get to see Shirley Muldowney at a race in Pomona.
Nice.
I would have loved to have gotten her autograph, but it
felt weird for that. But I wish I could have seen some of that.
St. Louis International. Yeah. Oh, Big Daddy Don Garlitz.
Oh my God, we got so sidetracked. What were our topics today? I don't even remember.
Well, I mean, we were bashing
the Lords of, I know you got notes.
We were bashing on the Lords of Truth.
The Lords of Truth from YouTube, and they're demolishing us. Okay.
I had good deeds because I was praising some
Fern
good
Solo.
Deeds. Yeah, Fern for being awesome. The Facebook RC community, and this is how I wrote my note: the troll douchey Facebook RC community. And then I have a random note.
Oh, everybody just left.
I have a random note that it just says Keith Oberman ? Where multiple. Because I was mentioning to Justin before the show that, like, hey, do you remember Keith Oberman when he was on ESPN, and him and Kenny Mayne, and I forget who Keith and somebody else were on a show for a number of years. Like their main news shows at the end of the day. And Keith Oberman used to be great and hilarious. And at what point did he turn into a raging lunatic? Lost his damn mind. I just saw he posted a video about how a certain.
Is there a lot of people? Is it? I mean, I know I am, but I mean, I'm not saying it out loud. But I mean, RC Sparks. Is there just like a lot of people going through a midlife crisis right now? Or is that just me?
I believe that there is an something in the air right now. I used to joke with my old boss about my weird shit-o-meter, and it really feels like there's just a lot of weird shit happening right now. China's flying spy balloons over us. The freaking trains are derailing all over the place. The toxic chemicals spewing into the air and into the rivers and crap, and everybody's just kind of ignoring it. Oh,
nailed it, JB.
76. All I did was run around the pits and get autographs.
Man, I'm telling you,
that's the life, man.
How tall were you? I'm sorry. That's. I know what I would have been doing.
I used to do that at. Probably a lot of people don't know Ascot Speedway. Ascot was a very famous racetrack that was right in the middle of Los Angeles. And
when stars come out of the woodwork, fall out of the pandemic. You guys are great. This is why I love you guys. Love you guys. Let's talk about it all.
Yeah, I remember being a kid growing up going to dirt track races where Kevin Gibbs was running around at drag races. I was running around at the dirt track. I still have a tear-off that Steve Kinzer signed for me when I was about, I want to say I was probably 14 or 15.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was just sidetracked because you were talking about douchebaggy trolls RC community and we lost 5 people at the same time. I don't know if that was coincidental. I'm just...
Maybe they didn't know what I was talking. They didn't hear it in context.
I know a couple people had to go. I don't... I don't want... Fallout from the pandemic. One Loco, if you could elaborate a little bit on that, I would love to talk about that. Porn stars coming out of the woodwork. I mean, I would talk about that all day, but there are ladies present, so let's keep that polite if we're going to talk about something like that.
I think what One Lacos is talking about, the weird shit. I think there's a lot of weird shit.
Oh, definitely.
Fallout from the pandemic, which is...
I was just wondering where he was coming from. I don't want to assume he means something and then say something else.
And
I'm really good at looking stupid.
Considering that I already got us a community guideline strike, I can't talk about the pandemic. I'll squirrel out and I'll say something, and next week we'll be talking about how episode 4 got taken down by the Lords of Truth.
Wait, because you wanna be here. I mean, I know I mentioned this in like halfway into the show, but you want to be here next week. I think next week's going to be really good.
The RC Sparks mentioned.
Yes.
Sharp as a tack, NorCal is. Yeah, I've mentioned it a couple of times about how that I'm just really disappointed with how RC Sparks did all of that. Just, you know what? Sail off into the sunset. Still have to do what you want to do.
Start another channel, for Christ's sake. Start another channel. Do something, take it, you got how many subscribers? You telling me you can't start another channel and have a whole bunch of people move over to you?
You can even mention on your channel that I'm starting a new channel. Now, I'm starting a new channel.
It's going to be more
different.
adult.
It's going to be different, and it's strictly for adults. So if you want to go over there and check it out and you don't like it, then you can just unsubscribe to that and come back over here into the safety and security of the fun RC world.
Sparks as well. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, I didn't know I hit that so well.
The DR10. I got to say kudos to Element for
It's a cool drag car.
and also really, Element has done a good job basically since their inception. They came out with their truck, and they'd obviously been paying attention to what people were doing and what people wanted, because they came out with a truck that was pretty good. But then also, kind of the, hey, out of the blue, hey, here's this no prep drag car. And at that time, there wasn't really that much like drag stuff going on. It wasn't super, super popular. And now you got, what is it? The Las Vegas event that was 65 grand to win. So,
RC drag racing is huge right now. Big thing.
And something else.
So our midlife crisis, I hear.
Something else I heard was how big the 24 scale was. The presence of 24 scale stuff was at USTE this weekend. That there was a ton of people there, a ton of aftermarket support. There was it sounds like there was a ton of people there that showed up with just their 24 scale rigs. No prep is fun, was fun. Now it's nuts. About to convert mine, possibly dirt oval style basher.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what, Lacos, I love me some dirt oval racing. At some point, I am looking forward to at some point making my own dirt oval track here. Just so that I have my own track to play on and have fun with. Because I really, really would like to get one of those. A 1RC makes the. I think they're like 18. They're small scale. They're micro scale, but they make like the midget, the sprint car, the open wheel modified. Now they have one, but they're tiny. But I would love to have. I'd love to have a couple of those. And eventually I would like to get myself another Custom Works sprint car and make myself a little track so that I could just have fun. Because I could drive around in circles for hours and hours and hours. Just battery after battery after battery, all by myself. I wouldn't care.
I don't even need an RC car to do that.
Hey.
My mom says it takes all kinds.
Yeah, the drag racing scene, it got kicked up a notch. In the beginning, it seemed like it was all fun, and now guys are like, they're dead serious about no prep racing.
There's a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, if you got a race where you could win $65,000 with your RC car,
you're probably going to take it pretty seriously.
Yeah, I mean, considering everybody that knows World of Outlaw sprint cars, if you go out and win on a Saturday night in World of Outlaw sprint car, I'm
not going to say it out loud, but I'm just going to say that's what she said. Oh, I'm horrible.
Somebody had to say.
I'm horrible. God, take me off the air, YouTube.
I think we have. We're in our 4th episode, and Justin's held back.
I've been holding back. I've been holding back this whole time. Like, I'm tired.
Before we got it, that's what she said.
Yeah, it's more of a job than a hobby, and that's the thing. So, like we said, is how seriously are you taking yourself? I mean, we can go right back to influencers in the RC community. How serious do you have to be in the RC community? I mean, like NorCal said earlier, we're 50-year-old guys playing with toys. Come on, man, lighten the hell up.
And there are sometimes if you actually go post that in a Facebook group, people will call you a new one. It's not a toy. It's not a toy. Like, just absolutely rage out on it.
That makes me want to say that T word that I hate saying. I hate when people throw the therapy
Prostate?
word on top of that.
I'm not sure I know what P word you're talking about.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I look, I do this for fun. I do it because I like doing it. I do the, so why we do this show, because it's fun.
It's a
JB and I have
distraction.
fun sitting up
It's a
here.
distraction from real life. It
Yeah.
takes me outside of the house, and I can just zone out on this, and I don't have to worry about nothing.
Yep. I can go out and just have some fun for a bit, post video, maybe so throw some music in there and have some fun. And yeah, that's what hobby's supposed to be. Hobby's not supposed to be all stressful, and once it's stressful, it's not a hobby anymore.
Yeah.
It's built, been ran a few times, but not really my deal.
Yeah, it depends on the area you have for a boat, man. It depends on what you want out of a boat. Because for me, I'd have to film it, and so for a boat, for me, I'd have to be like out on the lake somehow to film this thing. Because I'm that anal about it. Like, I need a pontoon boat. We need to be out there. I need to be there to film this thing. And so yeah, all these logistics for me, it was just like, I'm just not. Yeah, a boat's a little.
Boats, helicopters, and planes. The same. I have the same problem with all three of them. They can be fun, and you can enjoy them, but after an hour, I'm probably going to be bored of it. Also, all three of them can be destroyed and lost instantly. And when I'm talking about, when I'm talking about, running my boat out there and something happens and it sinks, it's gone forever. Plane. I tried plane once. 15 minutes. It lasted for 15 minutes. I nosedived it into the ground. Didn't have plane anymore.
I continually have people comment that the tires are wrong direction. How do you process that? Tires are directional sometimes, but dude? You're just nitpicking at this point. Yeah.
Well, and
You got anything to say about that?
Most of them are only directional aesthetically in RC.
I mean, seriously, we're talking about what? Maybe at most a 15-pound crawler here, and you're going to seriously whine at me about directional tires?
or
Wow.
And I can tell you that I have done it where, like, I have mounted up tires and I got three of them going one direction and I got one that's going the opposite. I mounted it opposite.
I have different tires from front to back. I have a different set of tires on the front, and I have a different set of tires on the back. I don't care. That's the way I like it.
Yeah. And depending on what you're doing, I mean, if you're doing some hardcore crawling, I could absolutely see the benefits of, say running like a Hyrax in the front, Predator Hyrax in the front that's just super sticky and whatnot, and maybe something like a mud terrain.
It works for me.
BFG in the back.
Yeah. That's my choice. That's like I said. Our opinions are strictly entertainment here. Don't take this stuff to heart, guys.
Yeah. Well,
I like. Did you see the comment from Kevin Gibbs here being an audiophile?
Yes.
Immediately Zeppelin goes off in my head here.
Yeah, I pretty much constantly have music playing here because like when I'm on my work computer, I will usually have music playing here. I'm a 90s, 80s, 90s rock and grunge guy. I mean, I regularly listen to Tool, big fan. Tool, Perfect Circle, Alice in Chains. At the same time, Iron Maiden, classic Aerosmith. You know, I'm even down to throw in some Bon Jovi in there.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna draw a line.
Oh, come on, man. Bon Jovi. Have you not seen Young Guns 2?
Oh, I'm not saying that it's not good. I'm not.
Hey,
it's
the
just that
music from Young
so I
Guns
have a
2
traumatic
was epic.
experience with Bon Jovi. I have a very traumatic. So when I was younger, when I was growing up, my mom used to take me to the babysitter. Of course, this is obvious. Babysitter. I mean, this was back, early 90s, 80, 87, 89. And he had a big screen TV downstairs. And of course, this blew my mind, and he would play Bon Jovi videos constantly on this big screen TV while I ran on a treadmill in front of it. And that's how I was babysitted.
Yeah.
So
NorCal Rage.
Oh, I love Rage.
90s alternative. Yeah, heck yeah, man. I mean, they're
So now when I hear Shot Through the Heart, all I want to do is just run. I just want to run.
JB has traumatic memories of Bon Jovi.
Now we get to the heart of the matter.
Pushed in the water cooled. Damn. Yeah, Kevin Gibbs is an audiophile because that is some serious audio equipment. Giant.
Now come from the land of the ice and snow. That's all I can think of, Kevin.
Bad Medicine. Come on.
That explains a lot.
It is what makes this show so much better than all of the other shows on YouTube. Is our chat. Our chat,
absolutely.
Our chat is classic here. I could say things about other YouTube shows. I could, and
we will,
but not today.
Or you wait, because like I said,
today is reserved for the Lords of Truth.
Rich has been holding me back. It's not a joke. I listen to everything but country. Oh, good for you. I love it.
I moved here to the free state of Tennessee, home of birthplace of freaking country music. I do have a country music station preset in the car now, but I think I've only listened to it once.
Seriously, no Cash though. I mean, come on, Johnny.
Johnny's great.
How could you not?
And there's,
anyways,
there is some good country music. I'm not a particularly big fan of like the country pop now. I think I probably lean a little bit more to like traditional country, but
as we squirrel away from our designs,
maybe we need to just call this the squirrels talking about shit that needs to be said.
I wanted. What is it? What was it that was said? Oh boy,
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I was supposed to be paying attention here. I can barely afford to pay the bills.
I know we were talking about.
NorCal was talking about the tires being directional.
Yeah,
and how he said it felt petty.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's.
So here's my thoughts. It to me, yeah, it is petty. It seems a little petty to gripe at someone over something that seems so trivial. However, if you're a big scale guy and you absolutely love scale, yeah, you might have put your foot in your mouth and said something to your friend you probably shouldn't have said. I don't know. But I mean, the truth of the matter is yeah, dude, really when it comes down to it, no matter what my opinion is, I want you to enjoy what you're doing. If you want to have them on there the wrong way, yeah, dude, I don't care.
Well, that's the thing. And because like the big scale event just happened to have happened this past
No,
weekend.
we don't even need to say names. We can just
I'm going to just call
big
it the
scale
big
event.
scale event. One of the, I'm all good with scale. I'm doing a scale build here. I've been working on it for a year. Not because it's that intricate, just because I'll work on it for a while and it bores the crap out of me. But the scale people get crazy. Scale people get crazy about scale stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not scale. Because you have 4.19s on there, that's not scale. That's not scale at all. You have to have 1.5s on there with little teeny tiny tires that are meant for driving around on the street, but you're driving around them on the road because that's what you would drive around in real life. Well, that's part of this hobby, is it's a break from real life. No, in real life, I want to drive around in a Jeep Rubicon with 67-inch tires on it.
Run your little Geo Metro the hell over.
Yeah, I want to have 8,000 horsepower, and I want to be able to jump my Jeep Rubicon off of a cliff and survive. That's what I would want in real life, but I can't have that, so I make it an RC version.
Sorry, Kevin got me with that comment. Yeah, Kevin, absolutely.
Constructive
criticism. You should highlight that comment if you can. You should bring that comment up. That's a great comment.
Yes. Hey, you know what? I'm going to try something new right now. Bam! Look at that. I'm going to I put
You're
that
never
up
too old to learn. Isn't that the truth?
That's freaking cool right there. It's something I knew that I could do here in StreamYard, but I'd never done it because I'm too busy squirreling out. But there we go. Bam! Bannered that up, because that is. Constructive criticism is great. That is, it should always be welcome.
Well, I'm still learning today. I mean, things that I thought that were set in my life that I thought were going a certain direction. I mean, the only constant is change. So you're going to tell me that you're really going to limit yourself, or, say that you can't learn something new? I mean,
I learned a valuable lesson. At 50 years old, I learned a valuable lesson yesterday. That when you are staining wood, you should probably wear some kind of glove, rubber glove, some kind of protection for your hands.
That is a good idea. Now, as the a-hole I am, I probably would have told you that had you asked me.
I did not do that yesterday. I stained wood, and then I spent 15 minutes yesterday afternoon scrubbing my hands with a little metal scrubbing thing to get all of the stain off of my fingers and my fingernails and everything else. Because as well as keeping my RCs clean, I am technically an engineer, so I do like my hands to be clean. And yeah, wood stain, it stains your hands. So, yeah.
Every day is something new.
But yes, Mr. Gibbs, that is true wisdom right there.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though, is a lot of people I know that it gets bad. I know that life will kick you right in the balls. I mean, definitely. But that's the thing. Yeah. A lot of people don't want to face the bad part of it. And sometimes you just got to embrace the suck. And that's...
And sometimes...
Vodka takes it off.
Yeah, see, where were you yesterday, NorCal? Yeah, I mean, their life sucks. I can tell you that a year ago, right about this time a year ago, I was probably about as low as I could possibly get. Just a lot of things had gone terribly, terribly wrong. And it had been going wrong for a couple of months. And it seemed like there was time and effort and work put in so that we could move here to Tennessee. And then we got here to Tennessee, and it was just a series of, it was quicksand. One thing went wrong, then another thing went wrong, then another thing went wrong, and it felt like the more we struggled, the worse it got. And out of the freaking blue, about this time last year, things changed. Almost overnight, things changed. And the whole outlook on life changed at that point. So you can never make one hell of a martini.
Nice.
And see, that is
shaken, not stirred.
And that is something else in life, is taking something positive out of everything.
Yeah, man.
When you embrace,
I know I come across like negative Nancy most of the time, but I mean, honestly, that's the thing. Hey, Tank.
Hey, Mr. Tank. Yeah, it's you
gotta look at the I mean,
that's
why we sit here and debate, is because there are two sides to everything, really. I mean, come on.
And when you embrace the suck, you learn to appreciate that.
What's good?
Yeah, you can't enjoy the light without the dark, and vice versa. You can't enjoy the dark without the light. You can't enjoy the good unless you've been through the bad. And nobody can. I don't think there's anybody that can say they've lived a perfect, happy life and never had anything go. Everybody's had something.
No, like we talked about before, RC community. I mean, I'm a hypocrite of saying it too. Yeah.
I have made some shit posts on Facebook myself. I have made comments on Facebook about people saying stuff myself. So yeah, I'm a hypocrite alternative. Talking about
it's a living. Sorry,
life sucks, but it beats the alternative. Yeah, and kudos to my mom. My mom hung in there she's been hanging in there for the whole show. Way to go, Mom.
Thank you. Everyone struggles in their own ways. Absolutely. And that's the thing.
And
pink waving. Okay.
I think that's I think
I think I got it. It was supposed to be an emoji. You learn from everything.
Yeah. And that's a good way.
But are you willing to learn from everything? I think that's the real question. Like, yeah, you do learn from everything. Obviously, there's a response reaction. What is it? That cause and reaction? Is that what that is?
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
Yeah, and that absolutely.
So there's always cause and effect. So no matter what happens in your life, something happens. It affects you. Okay, that's one thing. But are you willing to accept that? That's the part that I'm trying to get through. I feel like a lot of people don't want to.
Yeah, and that growing up around racing and growing up around a lot of people who had very, very good thinking and logic about racing, which is if you went out and won every single time, you wouldn't learn anything.
Yeah.
You learn when you lose. You learn during the bad times how to try and avoid it in the future.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to learn the lesson of, you know what? Had I done this, and this, and this might not have happened. It might still have happened.
That's why we are where we are right now, is because we learned. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. 39 years of marriage. It wasn't always whiskey and roses.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel you. I'm 17 years in myself.
I am, we're at 10. And a very, very wise man. You in marriage, the best advice I ever had was you can be happy or you can be right.
He's like, you can be right or you can be dead right, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna learn today. Well, yeah, you're gonna, like, I feel like it took me a long time to learn, though. I mean, some days you don't learn. Some days you beat your head against the wall until you learn.
I learned a very valuable lesson one day riding my dirt bike in the dirt. That when you ride like a jackass and you face plant in the dirt and you are spitting chunks of sand and dirt out of your mouth, that don't be a jackass.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Tip number
Instant
one.
lesson.
Tip number one.
Life has a way of sometimes teaching you instant lessons.
We learned not to talk about the election. Yeah, we sure did. Thanks, Tank.
I love it. See,
Thanks
Frank, another one, sharp as a tack right there.
Thanks to that wonderful RC community.
Yeah, the Lords of Truth taught me a lesson.
The Lords of Truth and the Brotherhood Keepers. Yeah.
Enzo Fry was happiest when he was losing. I actually heard the same thing, that it was
yeah, Enzo Ferrari made a comment that I'll never forget one time, and he said, if you don't bring the steering wheel back to your manager every once in a while, he'll forget why you're there. Like you every once in a while, you just got to give it everything you got.
Yep. Yeah, a friend of mine who was a great racer, and he did some really good things. He told me that you will never know how fast your car can actually go until you stuff it in the fence. Wow, yeah, because you know how fast it can go right before you stuffed it in the fence. Learn not to lean on something you just welded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be good. That's a learning experience, definitely.
Don't wear short sleeves while welding.
Mm-hmm. That's probably a good one.
Hey, I got that one right here. I got that one right here. Don't wear short sleeves standing next to somebody who's welding.
I recommend not parking near fire hydrants.
If you park in front of a fire hydrant, leave your windows rolled down.
You know what's really great is when you drive a Tesla and you're just out of electricity, so you just roll up into somebody's yard and plug in your car there. So I heard this story, right? And so what happened was the landscaping crew came and knocked on the dude's door and said, hey, could you move your car off the lawn? We're here to do it. And guy was like, I don't have a car parked on the lawn. I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, no, you need to come out and move your car. He went out there and there's a Tesla parked on his lawn, plugged into his house. Well, it died right here, man.
I don't.
Anyways,
I
go
honestly, everybody's coming out with an EV now. It's the YouTube commercials are just bombarding with every car company's new electric vehicle. And why? What happened to car designers? What the hell happened to car designers? Because every new car that comes out right now, it looks like somebody. It just looks like something somebody crapped out. It didn't. No real artistic effort to make it look good. Just
we're not gender specific here, Tank. Take it easy.
Don't tell a woman to be quiet. I mean, there is some wisdom in that. I mean, you might also be inviting.
What did we say? You can be right and you can be dead right. You go right ahead, man. Whatever you want to do.
RCs seem to run best right before they catch fire. Yep. Engine runs great right before it blows up. Absolutely.
Always right before it tanks. It's
I used to love when I was running the nitro truck, the OS engine with the big goofy red head on them.
I'm sorry.
I've got a scar to prove it.
Yep, that'll happen.
And yeah, those OS engines, that you could get one main event out of them, like running them super hot and super lean. They would run fantastic. If you could make it to the end of the main event, it was great. But it didn't always happen. But yeah, they would be phenomenal right before when they would just seize and everything would explode inside.
Yep.
It was fantastic.
It was running so goddamn good.
No car out there that looks like an old 50 Cadillac. Yep. 1949 Merc. 57 Chevy Bel Air. 67 Corvette Stingray.
How about an old, like an old Cord?
Yeah.
Like
did you say an old Accord?
Cord.
Oh, I was going to say an old Accord.
No, man. God, you made me pull up a picture of one. Gee whiz.
I mean, even like an early 70 Corvette, the full fiberglass ones.
I think I go back to like the 40s, even with the big fenders and the.
Yep. They took time to make the car look cool. Now, and it may be a generational thing that I just don't understand what looks cool anymore. But cars don't. I like the Tesla Model S. That's it's.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about cars, I'll drive anything.
It's a nice looking car.
I mean, as long as
I just saw the commercial for the Acura Aria on YouTube, and it's like, oh, dude, you guys literally threw down a square block of clay, carved on it for 20 minutes, and was like, yep, there you go.
There you go.
That's the new Aria. Slap some batteries in an electric motor and freaking drive that crap around.
442 big block.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, a freaking GTO.
Oh yeah. It's like I said, Kevin was running around at the right time. Let me tell you, gee whiz. I'm not like you said, I'm not jelly. No way. Cars and anyways. All those autographs from all those wonderful people he got.
That was mom again. Love you too, Mom.
Oh boy, did I break some rules?
No. She was just commenting that we were almost at 2 hours, and that is pretty standard for our show.
Yeah. There's never enough time for the shit that needs to be said.
Yeah. Never. Not to mention,
besides, I don't know how long we're going to be here for.
That's true. We have to keep going because the Lords of Truth may freaking strike us down at any time.
It's the Brotherhood Keepers that are watching us. Ladies, I can't wait to be here next week. It's going to be good. It's just going to get better.
The best is the mullet. I mean, El Camino.
There you go.
There's something to be said about the El Camino.
I think we talked about like the Ford Ute.
Yeah.
Or the Ute.
Last week we did. It would be awesome to have a Ute here. We had our version of the Ute, which was the Ranchero and the El Camino, but it wasn't quite as crazy as the Ute.
Well, I just
know how to do crazy right.
Take a Camino though, and stick it on a Corvette chassis. Now we have something. Like, yeah, this is what we're talking about in a Ute. Basically, is we made a Corvette, then we stuck a truck on there.
Well, you basically like took a Corvette and just carved a bed out of the back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, that's something.
That's a truck. A truck Corvette. So what do we talk about on Thursday? What do you want to talk about on Thursday?
Hey, you could talk about the Lords of Truth as well, Mr. Frank.
There you go.
Frank wasn't in the beginning. I am now. I do not refer to YouTube as YouTube anymore. I refer to them as the Lords of Truth because, yes, they are trying to protect us all from the evils.
From the 100 views that we received, where we talked about 2 minutes of election time at 1.5K subscribers, maybe. Yeah, right, dude. You got to be kidding me. Come on, man. Like we're here to tell the truth, right? Well, I'm gonna call it out. I think somebody's been watching the show who isn't happy.
Yeah, or maybe they just don't like that. Some people don't like the truth. Crying out loud, you live in an alternate reality, and you don't necessarily.
Free speech is gone on YouTube. Well, and it's not just free speech on YouTube; it's free speech with whoever doesn't want you talking.
Yeah.
Like I said, me and Rich came here to talk the truth about the RC world, and
we end up squirreling out all the time, but we still try to circle it back around to in RC world. Don't think it was just election talk. It might not have been, but that was what YouTube told me I violated the community guideline on. I mean, Lords of Truth. Damn it. I got to remember that.
Lords of Truth. And they're brotherhood keepers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there are people out there that definitely don't want to hear what JB and I have to say.
Barbecue was right. The 8 people in Nebraska we talked about, I'm sure, were just thrilled with us.
And I apologize to the 8 people in Nebraska. I'm sorry that we wanted to blow up the Chinese spy balloon over Nebraska.
Over Nebraska, where there's. Sorry.
We take that. I take that back.
Nebraska's great corn huskers.
That was offensive to corn huskers.
My bad,
man. And I'm glad that the Lord.
There's only 8 people living there. Yeah, if they're all home at the same time.
Yes, Jesse, and that's that was JB and I started talking about doing this show a while ago, and it was, at some point we're going to offend everyone.
We don't mean to offend you guys necessarily. I mean, like I said, we are here for your entertainment. We're sorry if we do, but I mean, the thing about it is we should be able to talk and debate as friends and get along. And if you can't do that,
I grew up during the 80s and the 90s when we were forced to question everything, parental advisory, all of that. That's what I want to question everything. I want to ask questions that people might be uncomfortable hearing. You should call your live garage talk with Rich and JB. It's like hanging in the garage with friends. Nothing is left.
I love these comments.
Yep. Then they had a Michigan balloon also.
I have relatives in Nebraska.
And see, NorCal, I mean, come on. I mean, everybody needs to send an email to the Lords of Truth and say, hey, look, the people in Nebraska don't mind that we were going to down the balloon over there.
Over Nebraska, it's a balloon.
I know.
Little girl lets go of a Mylar balloon in the park. Nobody panics.
Yeah. And I also know that there's so much corn that's being grown. Now, if we took out like a half a cornfield, there's still going to be, plenty of partially hydrogenated corn syrup left to go around. Because the Lord knows I need that in Mountain Dew.
Hydrogenated corn syrup.
You got to have corn to make the
Oh,
partially
my
hydrogenated corn syrup. Got to have it. So we appreciate you, people of Nebraska
feel like
and
somebody
people of,
popping corn is totally offended.
Iowa. I know there's a lot of corn grown in Iowa because Lord knows I've driven through Iowa and Nebraska, and woo, that's a party. Especially if you love you some corn. 40 years, and I want to know how things work. And Jesse, you know what? JB and I are going to ask some questions in the very near future that are going to make some very specific people unhappy.
I know there's an elephant in the room.
And everybody knows that JB and I were a part of something before, that now we're obviously on our own, doing our own thing. Hey, it happens. And at some point we will address the elephant in the room. The elephant this week was the Lords of Truth, because
and the awesome RC community that follows.
Yeah, the fact that you can't point out in a Facebook group that we all know that everything gets made in freaking China. In this, probably in the same town, they have an RC manufacturing city in China that's where they make all the RC stuff, and everybody, all the manufacturers from all over the world go there and say, hey, make me one of these, and they do, and then they make the same thing for 5 other companies, and then we get onto Facebook and we argue about which one is better. My Reefs Raw 500 is better than your Savox.
Right.
Even though it was the same 12-year-old kid in China that made both of them. I might get a community guideline strike on that one too, because I don't know if you're allowed to say 12-year-olds making shit in China.
We're gonna be in so much trouble.
Youthful people in China that manufacture things don't care what the label is.
Oh boy.
On that happy note, we have reached the 2-hour mark, of which
I love talking to these guys, though. They're great.
Yes, and we will be back here next Wednesday, rain or shine, or Lords of Truth striking us down again. Yeah, we will be back doing this every Wednesday. Didn't my mom say it needed to go? She did mention that we had been on for almost 2 hours.
I can hear her calling in the distance if you hear. Rich, time to come home.
Anybody that grew up in the same era that we did all know the sound of mom calling.
Oh, yeah.
That it's dinner time.
Oh, yeah.
Because our moms are the last generation of moms that voices can carry for like 3 or 4 blocks.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm 6 blocks away. That thing's like a siren.
Oh, yeah. You heard somebody, and you didn't even have to hear your mom saying that it was dinner time. You could just hear a mom yelling that
if you heard one mom, you better be running.
Yeah, you knew it was time to go home. Was that my mom? Was that your mom? It doesn't matter.
Speaking of time to go home.
Thank you all. Thank you all very much for joining. We have fun. We have fun. Some shows are more fun than others.
Some shows are like the sandpaper running over the Sahara.
Just that's the way live entertainment goes. But yeah, thank you all for popping in here and hanging out with us and interacting with us in the chat. It really does make the 2 hours fly by. It doesn't feel like I've been sitting here for 2 hours, other than my bladder is screaming at me right now.
Right.
Because the whole time that we're on the show, I am here. This and then this.
Yep, got the cup. Got the cup. It's time for a bathroom break. All right.
Thank you all, guys.
Have a good night.
Have a fantastic week. We will see you next Wednesday.